welcome back. Here we are for episode 11 of the Therapy Sessions podcast. And here we are again. We get to celebrate yet another Chicago Bears victory with the Bears beating the Pittsburgh Steelers by a score of 31-28. This one not quite as dramatic as the preceding 2 or 3 games, but it was still pretty stressful all the way down to the wire. Chris, what do you got for me?
They're all dramatic if you're mentally ill enough, Nick.
That's true.
There's nothing like living in Chicago when the Bears are good. I mean,
It's so awesome. It's the best.
it, if you like, why would you live here if you weren't born here or didn't have family here? The weather is not very good. The politicians are all in jail. Taxes are
Construction.
expensive. Construction, traffic, right? But man, there's just something about when the Bears are good, and it's like I can only think of like a handful of seasons in my life, right? Where the Bears are like really good, and it's just everything's a little bit sweeter, everything's a little bit different. Um,
Absolutely.
eight 8 years ago, I was 314 pounds, Nick, in November of 2017. Okay, I was a very large man, and I had been that large for like a number of years, like 5 or 6 years. Okay, to the
Okay.
point where I forgot what being like even regular size or thin even felt like. And my wife and I wanted to have kids. It wasn't happening. So I decided I would lose 100 pounds and I would do it in a year. And everybody laughed at me. And I went and did it in like 9 months. And
That's
on the
awesome.
other side of that, the Bears was 2018 and the Bears were like good again. And what was kind of funny about that, and I think about it compared to this, is like I had forgot what it's like for the Bears to be good. Kind of like I had forgot what it was like to not be a morbidly obese man. So there were all that 2018, there were all these little things that I got to enjoy for the first time in like a long time, like flying on an airplane and not jamming into a seat. Okay. Not having
Yep.
people like look at you funny on an elevator because they got to share it with you. Being able to shop in Kohl's or in like a regular size men's store, right? Like that was that was really nice. Being able to fit in a car's like normal seats, okay? There were all these little things that most normal people or NFL franchises take for granted, and you just forget, like, oh yeah, that's what it's like. And it's like you start to remember things of what it's like to have a good team, and it's really sweet, man. It's
It
awesome. I'm
is.
having the time of my life doing this, man.
Like we've said before, we picked the right season to start this thing, to start this podcast adventure.
Nick came over to my house after the game ended and brought us some delicious Penrose beer. Mm.
Penrose, thank you. That's a great segue, Chris.
The winter release. This is the snowy winter version of Goofy Boots. So we've got gridiron boots, goofy boots, snow boots. Collect them all. They all go down smooth. Thank you, Penrose.
Cheers to that. Cheers to that. Let's get
Quarterbacks.
into our let's get into our unit grades quarterbacks. So this was another interesting game for Caleb. Overall, he ended up playing great. He threw for 3 touchdowns. He helped you win the game. He kept you in the game. He kept you in the fight. Um, and any other Bears quarterback in years past, I think the team falls flat on its face, and this is a 28 to 13 blowout by the Steelers, and the Bears just can't keep pace. But this is different. This year is different. Caleb Williams is different. Yes, he made a boneheaded play. He made one of the worst plays I've ever seen him make, possibly the worst one he's made. And of course, he's getting rushed and he's getting pressured by a generational pass rusher in T.J. Watt. So you got to take that into account. But he put that aside. He came back. He threw for 3 touchdowns. He had a great. He actually had pretty good numbers. He only took 1 sack. That sack we just talked about. He had a 68 QBR, which is solid, and he had a 104.3 rating. So solid numbers. I'm going to give him a B plus.
I've come to realize over the past month that Caleb is being asked to play the position different than 28 of the other quarterbacks in the league. Everything's under center, and he is playing football like Dan Marino, man. It's awesome. He's under center. They're attacking the entire width and depth of the field, and they're stressing the hell out of these defenses because they don't see it, right? These defenses are seeing these quarterbacks in gun half the game. The running games, the passing games aren't married. Caleb is playing a different game. These other guys are doing it, and he's uniquely suited to it. This is like a new type of weapon that Ben Johnson is deploying here, and he did it over and over and over. This was somewhat similar to the beginning of the year, what it kind of looked like, and he did it. He delivered. The J.J. Watt play, that's a heat check, man. He's been getting away with that stuff for the last couple weeks. That is a Hall of Fame player with his brother announcing the game and his like, whole family there, an hour and a half from his house. You got to know better than that. He's made two poor plays backed up to his end zone this year. Eliminate that. You're really looking good.
Right.
So it's this thing I've never felt like with a Bears quarterback where it's like I feel like they're going to score or move the
Right.
ball in like every possession. And it's a lot of fun to watch. Again, the scripted stuff continues. They're doing really well in the scripted stuff. Once they go off script, it's a struggle. Where Caleb played his best was they were in danger in that game in the middle eight. The last 4 minutes of the first half, first 4 minutes of the second half, Steelers receive the ball, Bears go down. Bears are down, I believe, 7, right? Caleb gets the ball, goes down. They get a field goal. The Bears get a stop. They get the ball back. They get a score, and the whole game's flipped in the third quarter. And then they score again. Now they're in control. It's really well done. Running backs.
Yeah, running backs, you kind of alluded to it. The running game was pretty much shut down. I mean, the one guy that performed was my guy, was Kyle Monungai. And
Congratulations to you and your family, Nick.
thank you once again. Appreciate it. When he scored his touchdown, me and Owen, my son, went jumping on our trampoline out in the backyard to celebrate, just yelling Monungai at the top of our lungs in celebration. So, he had 12 carries for 48 yards and a touchdown, kind of just like a run of the mill performance, 4 yards per carry. Did what he needed to do. DeAndre Swift only had 15 yards rushing on 8 carries.
He was running into that's 8-man fronts. That is one of the premier defensive front sevens in the league. The running game, I would say it's a B minus. Monungai is on pace for like 700 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Which is
Yep.
exactly what you want from that number 2 back. This running game is beginning to be a feared unit in the league, and running games travel. And if you're going to get a
Yep.
team that's going to dedicate that many resources to stopping it, you attack downfield. That's what they did. Receivers.
Receivers, DJ had a great game, 2 touchdowns, 64 yards. You had a couple other guys who chipped in. You had Luther Burden, who had a nice, solid game, 3 catches for 46 yards. Continues. Yeah, and his run. Yep, had a 15-yard run on the end around. Roma Dunze, a pretty quiet game for him. I mean, he contributed, but he only had 3 catches
53.
for 53. Yeah, he did have 9 targets. He led the team in targets. That's quite a bit of targets. That's about what he should be getting, but they weren't converted.
9 targets with 3 receptions isn't that great. They're pretty
No.
spread out. We'll get into the tight ends here. I think I texted it to you. I think Colson Loveland might be the best skill player they have already, and he's 21 years
Yeah.
old. This dude rocks.
He's
I
awesome.
was skeptical about the pick. I've been proven to be wrong about that. He's a weapon in the red zone. He's a weapon all over the field. He's a mismatch. He's too big for corners and safeties to cover. He's too fast for linebackers to cover. I'm having a lot of fun. I mean, almost every time. Oh, and almost every time he's on the field, it's the guy I'm watching. I'm watching him run routes. I'm really enjoying watching him play.
He's a bull in a china shop. I mean, he plays violent. When he catches the ball, he is just getting upfield violently, which is awesome.
21 years old. Burden, Loveland, Odunze, Williams, Manungai. These guys are all in their first and second year. They still have like 3 or 4 years left on their rookie contracts. This
Yep.
team is early. And in any team when you're a sports fan, it's almost never more fun than when the team gets there early. If you think about the 2015 Cubs, they were there early, right?
Yep.
The 2010, 11 Bulls, they were there early. Nobody kind of had them there. It was always supposed to be the next year or something like that. This team's early. This is found money, right? So the future is really bright for that unit. And man, every week Loveland gets better and better. I'm really enjoying it. I'm just going to give him an A, man, because he rocks.
Yeah.
Offensive
It was
line.
great. O line, you had a situation where Theo is down, and you had to have your rookie second round pick, who's really more of a natural right tackle. You had to plug him in at left tackle, Ozzy Trapillo. And by all accounts, it seems like he played admirably.
Offensive line Twitter, of which I'm a member of. So like Brandon Thorne, Trench Warfare, guys like that. Somehow we're pulling out grades on him like right after the game that he like came in at like an 88 PFF grade, which is elite.
Wow.
Yeah, like one or either 0 or 1 pressures given up. Like a very
Wow.
good run blocking, very good pass blocking grade. But that doesn't seem what they wanted to do. It appears that they needed to get him ready and acclimated, and that was the Jones thing, the Benedict thing. It would be a very, very, very good thing for this team if Ozzy Trapillo took every snap for the rest of the season at left tackle.
Yep.
Where we talked about Benedict having a physical limitation at the position in his arm length, Trapillo is basically if you ask God to make you an offensive tackle, this is what you would get. The rest of the line performed well. They gave up 1 sack. Caleb only got hit once, and it was on that stupid play in the end zone that really is his fault. The offensive line is the identity of the team. It's the best part of this team. All right.
Just like
Defense.
Jameis. All right, defensive line. Let's start with who was probably the player of the game,
Yes.
or at least defensive player of the game, Montez Sweat. I mean, he was a wrecking ball today. He had 3 tackles, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for
3 tackles
loss.
for loss. Yeah.
Yeah, and 2 QB hits, and the forced fumble on the strip sack, and the fumble recovery. So he was huge. Um, just by him alone, I think the D line gets A minus B plus range. They won the game. You got a lot of help from some other guys. You got Grady Jarrett, who had a big tipped pass down the stretch. You had some lesser known guys who kind of helped out. You have the new guy, Joe Tryon Shoyinka, kind of flash a little bit. He
You
had three
you
tackles.
you nailed the pronunciation, man. I wasn't even gonna try. Good luck.
I've been studying.
Good for you. Yeah.
So I give him a B plus, A
Mon
minus.
Montez Sweat is 7.5 sacks. He let's see. So as of through 11 games, 7.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. We have 6 games left. He's going to probably end up with 11 or 12 sacks. That's what you paid for.
Yep.
Depending on how well this team does, he's making a strong push for a Pro Bowl appearance. Nick, I think we have a Dr. Nick Dog of the Week for Montez Sweat. So let's
Absolutely.
I'm gonna talk to the owner this week on Dollar Hot Dog Tuesdays and
Double dog.
send them to him. All right, now we gotta talk about it. Linebackers.
Linebackers. That was the story of the day for the Bears, as was widely publicized. The Bears' starting 3 linebackers were all injured, all out for the game. So you had a bunch of bench players, the so-called bench mob, who came in and they did the
CJ Watson, what's up?
That's right. That's right.
Kyle
That's right.
Korver, what's up?
A la the Bulls. They came in and did their job. I mean, they did just enough. They were not great. They were not world beaters, but they did just enough. You have a guy that I've been keeping an eye on, which is DeMarco Jackson. And he had 15 tackles. You have obviously look at tackles with a grain of salt. 15 tackles. He had a tackle for loss. And then Chris, I believe he had a big play there that you were talking about on third down.
DeMarco Jackson really showed up, and I got to have it third down at the beginning of the fourth quarter. It's 3rd and 2 midfield. They isolate him on like a swing pass, and he blows through a block and makes a tackle for loss, getting the defense off the field. That being said, they got to get Edwards back. They need Edwards back. They really actually kind of need Hippolyte. Edwards is slow, and Sewell's isn't much faster, right? Edmonds was your kind of like playmaking speed guy. You're going to be missing that. However, as we move into the secondary, it appears we're going to be getting back two of our guys, and Kyler Gordon and Jalen Johnson. In a
Yep.
perfect world, man, you're going out and you're playing a dime defense
Right.
without Edmonds.
Secondary. Let's start with one of our
Do
favorites
it.
on the show.
Do it.
Friend of the show. We did a special profile on him last
Friend
week.
to all.
Friend to all. Nashawn Wright. Just what a game. What a play he made. I think it was the second pass by the Steelers in the game. And he just goes up. He skies like, it had to be 3+ feet in the air. At least it looked like it. And he uses those long arms on that 6'4" frame of his. And he outleaps DK Metcalf, who is the same height, if not taller, than Nashawn Wright. And
Premier
he outleaps
downfield threat.
premier jump ball threat. And he outleaps him, basically one-hands it, brings it into his chest, and toe taps both feet to stay in bounds. Just a remarkable play.
Shin down, man.
Yep. And so really amazing play. And then on top of it, if you look at the rest of his numbers, he had 2 other pass deflections. He really, really played well. He's really been great the last couple weeks. So special shout out to Nashawn. Great game. Another Dr. Dog for you. And, I think the second.
Nick.
Go ahead. Jump in.
There's a couple things. One, so structurally, it's really interesting with their Nashawn Wright's a unique player. He's 6'4", like 215. Those guys don't exist in the NFL because people built like that do not naturally have the change of direction required to play NFL corner. Nashawn Wright gives up a ton of yards. Like they target him all the time. And
Yeah.
what he's doing is he's winning every 50-50 ball thrown in his direction. It From what I understand and what it appears, Dennis Allen is scheming teams and forcing him to do that. So like we're talking a little bit about the Thibodeau Bulls. What made that team great defensively is that was at a time 15 years ago in the league when big men weren't shooting like they are now. Now in the NBA, every 7-footer is just shooting threes. But in 2010 or 11, power forwards and small forwarders like weren't that great a shooters. So that Tom Thibodeau team was designed, funneled everything to force power forwards with the ball with 6 seconds left on the clock to shoot long jumpers. What Dennis Allen's doing on a lot of this stuff is he's house blitzing. He's sending a bunch of blitzes. He's playing cover 3, and he's asking quarterbacks to throw jump balls against Nashawn Wright. They're doubling, sending help towards Tyreek Stevenson, and they're singling Nashawn, and they're asking teams to just throw it up against him, and he's coming down with these balls. It's really freaking cool.
Right.
I'm going to talk to the owner of Beef Shack this week to go deliver him some cheesy beefs or something, man. But DA, good on
keep
you.
him happy.
Special teams.
Yeah, we got to keep him happy. We'll get him some Beef Shack and some Penrose. Some beef
Easy
and
beef
some
on
beer.
garlic.
Yep. What could go wrong? Yeah, so special teams. Special teams was pretty ho-hum. Cairo didn't
B.
have to do much. Yeah, we'll give him a solid B. Cairo didn't have to do much. He kicked 1 field goal. He made it. He had those dirty kickoffs. Those were kind of interesting.
Yeah,
Those actually
yeah,
those kind of did well. He got one of them pinned at the 5, which was, then the Steelers proceeded to drive 95 yards and score. But, that's neither here nor there. That was executed well by Cairo. The punting was a
I need
disappointment to
more.
me.
I need more from Tory Taylor.
We need more. We need more. He had 4 punts. He only had one inside the 20. We just need more.
So we need a little bit more from you, Tori. Tori, I'd love to get you a dog. Right, we have one waiting for you, but you got to earn it. Let's
Yep.
go to Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson, I thought he had a good game. I thought he used the clock well. I thought he handled play calling well. Um, I thought it was a good bounce back game for him. They won the game, obviously. He stayed calm, kept the team calm. I'm gonna give him an A-.
I didn't think he was great in game. I thought there was some weird stuff he did, particularly in punting when he would normally be going for it. Probably because he was seeing racist ass Mason Rudolph across the sideline, right? Um, but for the first time in a really long time, I feel like the Bears have a coaching staff that are winning these games on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yep.
Um, and that's really cool, man. He's putting stuff in and it's working and he has buy-in. The team believes in him. And I like really find myself looking forward to him in these post-game scrums. And Nick, that promo that CBS made for the game with him during the week, I watched like 2 dozen times.
Awesome.
Um,
Chills.
he, we can talk a little bit about Friday.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Black
Yeah. Let's do
Friday,
that. Yep.
Philadelphia Eagles playing for the 2 seed, or I guess the one. I don't know. It's crazy. Ben Johnson versus Vic Fangio. I'm terrified of this game. This is the defending Super Bowl champions. You're going into their house. The entire country is going to be watching on Black Friday at 2 o'clock on Amazon. What
And
is,
we
I
just
have no clue. I have no clue what's going to happen to this game.
Yeah, and Chris, we talked about on one of our very early episodes, might have been episode 2 or 3, about narrative surrounding coming off of a win or coming off of a loss. And the Eagles just came off of a heartbreaking, hard-fought loss and to their bitter rivals, the Cowboys.
So
They
what
are
would
going to
you
be
rather have?
they are going to be pissed off and
So there's something to be
looking
said
for
about that, but this team has combustible personalities, okay?
it does.
This team is
It
in
does.
first place and they're all complaining. This team collapsed under its own. The Eagles 2 years ago collapsed under the weight of their own diva behavior, right?
And let me just tell you this, just as we kind of wrap up, the way I view this Eagles game, and I agree with you, it presents a really tough challenge for our team. But
They're
the way I view
7 point
this,
dog.
which to me was surprising, but that you know what, it's the defending champs in their building. The way I view that game, this game, is what the Bears were able to do in 2018 to the Rams. Do you remember that?
Yes, I vividly remember that game with a newborn on my chest,
Yep.
screaming, muffled, right? Um, that game legitimized the Bears as legitimate Super Bowl contenders that
Exactly.
year, right? They
Exactly.
were a cute story, and then they kicked the shit out of the Rams on national TV. Um, what you have here is an opportunity to not be a cute story, to be all of a sudden a legit threat in the NFC.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
there is not a team in the world right now the Bears cannot beat. That's a very cool thing. It's a hell of a place to be. Any given Sunday, you're either going to win or lose, but can you win or lose like a man?
We're going to find out on Friday.
Go
Blessed
Bears!
Friday. Go Bears.